It's pretty clear to me that as long as radio stays true to its roots, which were always about compelling content, and as we moved into an environment where there were lots of local and regional radio stations, the connection with the community became the most important thing that drove radio stations. So there is a problem internationally, and that problem is big companies like Clear Channel cutting down on presenters in market. So you get a presenter sitting in New York who's working at their stations across the nation in a syndicated show. What that loses is the ability to interact with a community on the ground and interact with their issues. So the guy's sitting in New York and he's doing a generic show, lots of fun, lots of entertainment, lots of jokes about the big issues. So if it's about Obama or if it's about healthcare, Obamacare, whatever it is, it's a national issue. But people at a community level, if they're in Durban or if they're in Johannesburg, there are issues related specifically to potholes, for example, in Johannesburg. It's a big issue for us because there's so much of it. A presenter in the market can start to talk about it, can interact about it, and that becomes local relevance. They're feeling, the presenter feels the same pain or is in the same context as the audience. That's the power of radio, and it has been and it will continue to be. Okay, so people have a debate about radio versus social media, and I'm pretty clear, and I think a lot of my colleagues in radio are pretty clear. It's radio and, not radio or radio versus. It's very much built on the same principles, and the principles were about connection. And the difference, there is a difference, so there are some people who say radio is the original social media. The difference is that in social media people are talking to each other. In radio, originally, it was radio people talking to audiences and then there was a dialogue, so it was two-sided. In social media, it can be the same side. So I'm someone, and I'm talking to my friend, mediated by social media. However, from a principle point of view, the way that social media is analogous to radio is it is still about communities. It is still about engagement. It is still about conversation. And there's a significant advantage created for radio through a Facebook or through other social media. There was a time when you opened up the lines on radio to talk about an issue, you got to listen to about 5 people, right? And it was probably the first 5 that phoned. The advantage now that radio has is that the communities we talk to are able to respond in their hundreds. And we can go to responder number or audience number 172, or take a view that we think is the most engaging or interesting, and that person may not have ordinarily got onto radio because we had limited time. Now we have tons of opportunity to engage with much greater depth in terms of the audience. So they're very, very complementary media, and I think that's what excites us.